In many third world countries, tap water is not directly potable. This causes many waterborne diseases, especially in countries that struggle with poverty due to a high water demand, affordability, and lack of fresh water. When polluted water is consumed, pollutants inside of the water may cause poisoning or waterborne diseases. This has become a worldwide problem and has not yet been effectively solved. Contaminated water sources can be troubling, especially in rural areas and many populous villages. According to PACINST.org Pacific Institute, unsafe water causes 4 billion cases of diarrhea each year and results in 2.2 million deaths. This means that 15% of child deaths each year are attributable to diarrhea, a child dying every 15 seconds. Surprisingly, this statistic only shows diarrhea, which means approximately 0.03% of the world's population die every year due to only diarrhea. It may seem like a small percentage, but in 2017, the world's population surged over 7.5 billion, which means every year the approximate equivalent of the population of Houston, Texas, dies due to diarrhea caused by contaminated water sources alone. Now, there are many contaminants in contaminated water. The main ones are pathogenic microorganisms, or just pathogens for short, and are found in contaminated water supplies. These microorganisms exist in organic waste, plant nutrients, and human waste. If combined with water, bacteria and microorganisms inside the water will contaminate it, and therefore may cause fatal diseases. Other possible contaminants in water may include solid particles, oil, radioactive substances, toxic chemicals like lead, mercury, and chromium, and pesticides, mainly chloridane, dihedron, and heptachlor. These chemicals are poisonous and may cause chemical poisoning, and the consequence will be fatal if water contaminated by these chemicals are consumed. Education is definitely key to good health, but the only possible solution is to educate the younger generation. However, this solution isn't efficient enough, because it would take a large amount of time, and in poor, rural areas, not everyone has the privilege of receiving education. If the wastewater isn't treated properly or not at all, and is used for purposes such as cleaning or irrigating crops, it doesn't just harm the crops or the environment itself, but may also cause diseases such as cancer. This is why governments usually apply laws on factories to make them pre-filter the water to prevent chemical poisoning if consumed. However, in fairly poor countries, factories are poorly monitored and therefore don't follow regulations. In 2000, the main cause of death inside the water pollution category in the United States was from pathogens like bacteria, viruses, and parasites, which resulted in 21% of deaths in that category. And second was from chemicals, which resulted in 16% of the deaths. These two issues have always been the main focus in the water treatment industry. Currently, there are water treatment plants that are capable of filtering sewage water into potable water, but that is way too costly and not as efficient enough. For a country to use this kind of water treatment system could cost billions just to build several water treatment plants capable of filtering water for 60% of the population for a country the size of the DRC, or the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to alternate.org, the average 5-minute shower uses 10 gallons of water. If we need enough treated water for the whole city, the water treatment plant has to be exceptionally efficient. However, there may be an easier solution to this problem. The main goal of water treatment, simply put, is to remove all harmful substances from the water. If a low-cost water treatment plant that is efficient enough is built, then there will be less to humans suffering from the global water crisis. In order to do this, the water treatment plant has to ensure the quality of the treated water, and that it meets government regulations. In 2016, the scientists at the ETH Zurich discovered a water filtering membrane that can filter out and absorb heavy metals by using two substances: carbon in activated charcoal form and a whey powder. These two materials are very simple and easy to produce. This water filtering membrane also has a high efficiency. It can filter out heavy metals from the water with an efficiency as high as 99.98%. Currently, there are other water filtering membranes capable of filtering out viruses, bacteria, and other harmful substances, which means only water molecules can pass through them. An innovative solution to this problem would be to collect water from storms, rivers, dams, and reservoirs, or even sewage wastewater, and treat it with a new method. First, water is passed through a sheet of metal with holes capable of filtering only big chunks of solid waste. Then, the water is sent to be treated with sand and stones in order to take out much smaller particles inside of the water. After that, the water is taken to filtering membranes. First, regular water filtering membrane filters nanoparticles and harmful pathogens inside of the water. It is then passed through the specialized water treatment membrane, capable of efficiently filtering heavy metals that may cause poisoning to the body. Finally, it is treated in UV light, or ultraviolet light, to kill off any extra pathogens in case filtering membranes malfunction. This solution may bring help to many people because of its fairly low cost and high efficiency. Not much machinery is required, which also saves much of the cost, which is vital to countries in poverty. This way, the treated water can be sent to taps throughout the country, and if water systems are installed, many citizens can receive clean water with a significantly cheaper price and allows it to be affordable. Although it may be from toilet to tap, it is a perfectly clean source of water, and that is key to good human health.